place is filled with old cans, like really, really old cans. And I'm gonna use some of them right now. Corned beef. This is how I'm starting my day. It's a late meal for sure. I love corned beef like crisped up, and I love it with fries, crisped up potato, and I love it with ketchup. And today I put a little bit of steak spice on it just to see if it would do anything to the corned beef in terms of flavor. I'm sure it will. But yeah, this is a classic, a good breakfast right here. If it had onion and a side of eggs, it would be even better. Yes, I love when my corned beef is just a little bit crispy. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've never washed my clothes before like this. I think the primary thing for me right now is just getting the odor out, right? I just want it to smell fresher. Just got a shower, and I'm in the most comfortable clothes that I've been in since this whole thing started for me almost 2 weeks ago. It's hard to believe I've been here. This is my 12th day. It's crazy. Time is flying. Anyway, I'm dealing with mice, like 100% dealing with mice. I do have a squirrel issue, and I've documented that so far in this little evacuation series. But I'm also dealing with mice, quite a few of them, I believe. They get right into the tent, like not inside the tent, but they'll be messing around, right? And all this stuff, they come in, I can hear them walking around. They're just messing around with everything. I actually think maybe an owl grabbed one or two last night because I could hear an owl. And then I heard like a fluttering, like over here. And then like the mice kind of stopped for a bit. But I believe that there are quite a few of them. So I'm gonna set a few traps around the back here and see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if I have some dead mice within an hour or two because it's right around now when they start getting active. So I've got some standard mouse traps. I've got a little bit of fruit bar here, and I feel like that will be a nice little bit of bait. I'm going to leave that right there, just like that. And then what you do is you take this little bar right here, you just hang it back. Pull this over, put this here. I feel like it's gonna go. I feel like it's gonna want to take me out here. Okay. There we go. It's set. And so a mouse comes on that and he's gonna be a goner. And I do believe that we will be hearing this thing going off very shortly. Yep. Sure enough. There he is, little guy. You can't see it too well, but he's probably better that way. Nope. Got another mouse right there. Right there. See this little beetle? There are a ton of these beetles in my tent. Like a ton. Oh, he just fell off. And that's what they do. They just fall from the top of the tent. I'll wake up in the morning and they'll be in bed with me. Just like, oh, he fell off. And they keep falling off and then they just keep climbing back up. And they're looking for warm places, right? Like they'll tuck into little pockets, or they'll just like snuggle into like tissue paper or into my sleeping bag or my pillow or whatever, into my jacket. And they're tough. Like I've killed a few of them and they've got a tough shell. So that's another thing. The other night I must have had about 20 or 30 of them here in the tent with me. Well, seeing as how I'm catching mice, I'm going to try something totally new and different for me. And that's an actual deadfall mouse trap. This one is called, I believe it's called the Paiute. I've never trapped before. And this is just a good opportunity for me to pick up some skills, right? And to try something new on this channel. And I do have a mouse problem, so I might as well learn how to do this, because while I do have mouse traps you can get at any department store, having this skill will mean a lot to me. I need the rock, which I have. I'm going to need some cordage, and I'm going to need 4 sticks, all with a very specific purpose. Okay, look, if I can do this, you can do this, because I'm doing this for the very first time. And I learned by doing exactly what you're doing right now, watching YouTube, right? So this might not be a perfect trap, and it might fail quite a few times, but I'm just going to work through it until I figure it out. And so bear with me, and let's see how it goes. I hope I can inspire some people who want to get into this stuff and have zero skills. I'm here for you guys. I just found this one on the ground right next to that tree, and this one might be even better because it's so straight. There we go. That seems pretty good to me. And again, here's the backup stick in case this one fails. Now this stick right here is a nice strong stick, and it's got a bit of dampness to it, which is great, which means it's going to be a lot more durable than a stick that is dried out, which is easy to crack. And I want this to be a strong stick because it's going to be the lever part of the trap. And I know it's the lever part of the trap because I just learned that. Okay, so it's cut in half. I'm going to strip it of all this bark. It's hard on the hand. It's like peeling carrots. And in case any of you are wondering, this is a Mora Garberg. It's a very good bushcraft knife. Very strong. This one's carbon steel. And I'm not sponsored by Mora knife or anything like that. But it's made in Sweden. So it's called a full tang knife because the steel goes all the way through to the handle. And that makes it a very strong knife. And yeah, it's great in the bush. If you guys have any tips on how to make a perfect notch, please let me know. Okay, now I'm going to make what's called the toggle, and it's the shortest of all the sticks. And I don't know. I'll just start right here. And that's it right there. And you need some cordage too, or as I like to call it, rope. So first thing I'm going to do is tie a knot right around my notch. And there's nothing fancy about this knot that I'm doing, I can tell you. So you can imagine I've got the rock balancing on the lever, and then I want to be able to do this, and it's got to be super tight. The rock will put pressure down on top of this lever. And you want the rope, from what I understand, like I said, I'm just figuring this out. From what it looks like, you need the rope to be like pretty straight. Like, not like this, which might actually work. Like this would work, I think. This rope, there, I would just do that. And then, I think that would work. This might not work. Okay, I feel like this is too tall, so I'm gonna reduce the height of this. Okay, it looks like I've got. Oh, I got a lot to learn. Okay, here we go. Okay, wow, this is almost like a hair trigger now. I'm barely putting any pressure on this. Look at that, I got it. Wow, and look at that, it's just hanging on by a thread. You don't need a lot of pressure. Right? You don't need a lot of pressure. So the mouse comes in, he's like, oh, that tastes good. Goner. Okay, got the fruit bar again. Using the fruit bar. Last night, that really drew them in. I got two with the fruit bar. So I've got a bit of fruit bar right here on my my stick. This is my bait stick. I've got my rock, nice big flat rock, and I've got all my elements here. Now I've practiced this throughout the day a couple of times, and I feel very good about setting this up now. And it was a real struggle to get started. It really was. So let's see how long this takes. I barely have any pressure on this. Now, I want to make sure I'm not going to slip. There we go. Look at that. It's held up. I'm barely touching it. I'm going to find a nice spot here for my bait stick. Right underneath. And just like that, I am set. So, I figured this out today. Anybody can figure this out. You just have to practice it and have a little bit of patience. And I had to fiddle with it, right? I had to fiddle with it. I had to figure out, you know, that I needed something nice and rough here in order to stop this stick from sliding. My notch, I couldn't have my notch turned around where I had this against the bait stick because this was too rounded, so the bait stick wasn't catching. So now I've got a flat end where the bait stick is up against. The bait stick doesn't have to be very strong. I had to mess with my rope over and over and over again, my cordage, in order to find the perfect length for this to work. And it really is just the coolest, it's a balancing act. This is a balancing act. If I can figure it out, you guys can figure it out. So hopefully this will work. And you know, I'll keep the mice away from my tent because they're just trying to get all over my tent. I don't like it. And yeah, I feel like this is a real humane way to get rid of mice. And it's also me learning and practicing doing this with you guys, just figuring it out, which is what this channel really is. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours since I set that trap, and I think I just heard it go. I don't know for sure, but I feel like I just heard. There's definitely a mouse around here somewhere. Like there's a mouse picking like right down here somewhere in my stuff. I can just hear him moving around. And as long as he's outside, whatever, like I don't think he's trying to chew his way through the tent. But it really did sound like that rock fell. So let's go see. More of those little bugs. One there, little beetles. One there. One there. They love coming out at night. And then they love, like this guy's right over the bed, right? So he's going to drop down on the bed and then he's going to climb into the covers with me. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some in there right now. Every night I find one or two in here before I get into bed. They get everywhere. I'm not seeing any right now, but there might be some on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear these things out. I'm going to catch them and release them. Because if I try to kill them, they're not dying, man. You almost got to you got to crunch them. And I don't want to be crunching them. I've been crunching enough of them. So I'm going to put them in a little case. I'm going to take them outside. I'm going to empty the case and hopefully they don't make their way back in. So here goes. Four. Oh, I just got one in the eye. There we go. I'm getting ready and I'm gonna go to a hotel for the next few days. I'm gonna relax it out. It's been 14 days now. I've been here for 14 days and that to me is an accomplishment. And you know, this was a real world situation. You could say that. It was an evacuation and I took off into the woods. And I feel like I was really, really prepared. And I feel like I could do this again in an even more dire circumstance. I do feel good. I think I even lost weight because I was rationing my food. I did not eat all of my food, which is great. So I'm just, you know, just kind of getting used to the idea of self-reliance, being alone, and surviving on my own. And look, if I can do it, you guys can do it, because if you go back on my channel a few years ago, I was just doing small day trips, and now I'm doing like 14-day trips all alone in the bush, you know, and taking it all in and living it and trying to gain everything I can from this experience. and I feel like I did gain a lot. It was there was a lot of personal growth in this trip. Anyway, this is the end of this video and this series. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back really soon. Well, my buddy Dave is back, and he's going to join me for a night during this evacuation, and we're going to watch UFC. That's like, you can't beat it. Yeah, he's back here. He's got one of his tents. He's going to set it up, and he's going to make chili.
All the key essentials: protection, axe, sleeping bag, sleeping pad. Okay, so I've been a Fiskars fanboy for how many years now? I've been using those on my channel. And Jay's been talking about these Huskies. I do like it though. Let me give it a little test there, see how it feels. Alright, so we're going to go with a really easy black bean chili tonight. I prepared everything prior to coming over here to the campsite, just for ease of cleanup. It's a little bit windy out as well. So I have some mushrooms, I have some garlic and some onions chopped up in this bag to fry up with the meat. Then I have some red pepper, yellow pepper, onion, and a serrano pepper. Have some black beans here, and a couple of limes to throw in as well.
Thanks so much, Dave.
No sweat, man.
I really appreciate this. Really appreciate this. Oh, baby. Wow. Hot. Oh my gosh.
That's spot on.